Top of the morning to you. Hello, everybody. I'm Debbie here. Welcome to the next episode of DMS 2000 News Live. It's 8 o'clock a.m. here on August 9th, 2023. As you probably noticed, Brendan Martin is not here with us today because, he is probably watching some poker. So to fill in for him, we have a special guest. Uh, well, from now on, a film substitute that will help us going forward. And who is that person, you may ask? Well, I'm going to play this opening and you'll find out. This is Brian Beauregard, everybody.
Oh,
How you doing, Brandon?
wow. Usually this is a time that I don't usually wake up this early, but it's great to be here.
All right. So, for those here on the show who don't know you, I know you've been on my channel plenty of times before. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a preschool show, game show, and reality TV show fan. I've been doing YouTube since 2010. I have a third channel that's handled now. That's the only channel I have my third attempt doing YouTube. So
All right.
hopefully this one goes a little better.
All right. So, all kidding aside, Brandon Martin is actually pursuing with um college stuff. So every time he's absent, you know either him or Mister Bogart here mostly will fill in. So that is the case right there. So and maybe Chaser will be rarely, but if he may have to, he may fill in as well. But maybe for a future time this month. Um, so I'm gonna be backstage for the majority of this episode here, and best of luck to you, and take it away, and you can promote anything you want as well. So, uh, take it away.
Okay. All right. So, oh, wait a minute. What? Is that how it's? Okay. Okay. I guess it's really just this strong guy. Oh well. Well, here we are, episode 39 of this DMS 3. Oh dear. DMS 3000 News Live on this Wednesday, August 9th, 2023. As David and I mentioned before, for Brandon. Now that's me, Brandon Beauregard, or substituting. Where do we begin? Well, let's just say we have quite a lineup here, including 3 anniversaries. Yep. This has been. Whew. Usually I'm not used to talking this much, so may help me throughout these next couple of hours. Why don't we start by talking about this? It's been the 29th anniversary of the murder trial of O.J. Simpson. This was a criminal trial in Los Angeles in the Los Angeles County Superior Court starting in 1994, in which O.J. Simpson, a former National Football League player, broadcaster, and actor, was tried and acquitted for the murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ronald Goldman. The pair were stabbed to death outside Brown's condominium in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles on the night of June 12th, 1994. The trial spanned 11 months from November 9th, 1994 to October 3rd, 1995. Opening statements were made on January 24th, 1995, though prosecutors argued that Simpson was implicated by a significant amount of forensic evidence. Okay. Simpson was initially acquitted of both counts of murder on October 3rd of the same year. The trial took place shortly after the 1992 Los Angeles riots. Commentators agree that the defense capitalized on anger amongst the city's African American community. Towards the LAPD, which had a history of racial bias, to convince the majority black jury to acquit Simpson. Whew. Uh-oh. Whew, my bad. The trial is often characterized as the trial of the century because of its international publicity, and has been described as most publicized criminal trial in human history. Following questioning by police detectives, Simpson was formally charged with the murders on June 17th after investigators found a blood-stained glove on his property. After he did not turn himself in at the agreed time, he became the object of a low-speed pursuit in a white 1993 Ford Bronco SUV, owned and driven by his friend Al Cowlings. That's how I describe it. TV stations interrupted coverage of the 1994 NBA Finals to broadcast live coverage of the pursuit, which was watched by an estimated 95 million people. The pursuit and Simpson's arrest later on the same day were among the The pursuit and Simpson's arrest later on the same day were among the mostly widely publicized the mostly widely events in American history. Simpson was represented by a high-profile defense team referred to as the Dream Team, which was initially led by Robert Shapiro and subsequently directed by Johnny Crochet. Johnny Cochran. The team also included F. Lee Bailey, Alan Dershowitz, Robert Kardashian, Sean Hawley, Carly Douglas, and Gerald Ullman. Barry Scheck and Peter Neufeld were two additional attorneys who specialized in the DNA evidence. Excuse me. Well, Deputy District Attorneys Marcia Clark, William Hodgman, William Hodgman and Christopher Darden believed that they had a strong case against Simpson. Cochran and the defense team persuaded the jury that there was reasonable doubt concerning the DNA evidence in this case. They contended that the blood sample had been mishandled by lab scientists and technicians, and that the case against Simpson had been tainted by LAPD misconduct related to racism and incompetence. In particular, noting actions and comments of Detective Mark Futterman. The trial was considered historically significant for the wide division in reaction to the verdict by the public. Observers' opinions of the verdict were related to their ethnicity and the media dubbed this the racial gap. A poll of Los Angeles County residents showed that most African Americans thought that the not guilty verdict was justified. While the majority of whites thought it was racially motivated jury nullification by the mostly African American jury. More recent polling shows this gap has narrowed since the trial. In 2013, more than half of polled back respondents said that they believe Simpson was guilty. In 2017, of an episode of The Jury Speaks, 3 of the jurors that acquitted Simpson stated that excuse me.
The following is a public service announcement from David 3000.
Yankees suck.
This has been a public service announcement from David 3000.
Sorry about that. Something went wrong. Where did I last leave off? Okay. In 2017, of an episode of The Jury Speaks, 3 of the jurors that acquitted Simpson stated that, in retrospect, that they believe they would still vote to acquit, while one said he would vote to convict. In 2013, more than half of polled Black respondents said that they believed Simpson was guilty. Oh yeah, I already brought that one up. After the trial, Goldman's father filed a civil suit against Simpson. On February 4th, 1997, the jury unanimously found Simpson responsible for the deaths of both Goldman and Brown. The Goldman family was awarded compensatory and punitive damages totaling $33.5 million. In fact, $61.1 million in 61.1 million in 2022 dollars. Ouch. But have received only a small portion of that figure. In 2000, Simpson left California for Florida, one of few states where personal assets such as homes and pensions cannot be seized to cover liabilities that were incurred in other states. Whew. And it's been 29 years of that. For a brief history, Nicole Brown met O.J. Simpson in 1977 when he was 30, and she was 18, and was working as a waitress at the Daisy, the Beverly Hills private club. They began dating, although Simpson was already married. Simpson filed for divorce from his first wife in March of 1979. He and Brown married on February 2, 1985. Brown and Simpson had 2 children together, daughter Sydney and son Justin, 1985-1988. It was on the evening of June 12, 1994, Brown and Simpson both attended their daughter Sydney's dance recital at Paul Revere Middle School. Afterwards, Brown and her family went to eat at the Mezzalana restaurant. They did not invite Simpson to join them. One of the waiters at the restaurant was Ron Goldman, who had become close friends with Brown in recent weeks, but was not assigned to the Brown's family table. Brown and her children then went on to Ben and Jerry's before returning to Brown's condominium in Bundy Drive, Brentwood. The manager of Mezzaluna recounted that Brown's mother telephoned the restaurant at 9:37 p.m. about a pair of lost eyeglasses. The manager found the glasses and put them in a white envelope, which Goldman took with him as he left the restaurant at the end of his shift at 9:50. Intending to drop it off as Brown's place. Meanwhile, Simpson ate takeout food from McDonald's. With Kato Kalin, a bit part actor and family friend who had been given the use of a guest house on Simpson's estate. Rumors circulated that Simpson had been on drugs at the time of the murder, and the New York Post Cindy Adams reported that the pair had actually gone to a local Burger King, where a prominent drug dealer known as Only JR had admitted to selling them crystal meth. Brown's neighbors testified that they heard profuse barking coming from outside throughout the night, beginning around 10:15 p.m. Around 10:55 p.m., a dog walker who lived a few blocks away from Brown came across Brown's Akita dog barking in the street outside her home. The Akita, whose legs were covered in blood, followed the man home. He tried to walk the dog back to where he found it, but the dog resisted. Later on, he left the Akita with a neighboring couple who offered to keep the dog overnight. As the dog was agitated, the couple decided to walk it back to where it had been found. Around midnight, as they reached the area where the Akita had been found, the dog stopped outside Brown's home, and the couple saw Brown's body lying outside the house. Police were called to the scene and found Goldman's body near Brown's body. The front door to Brown's condominium was open when the bodies were found, but there were no signs that anyone had entered the building by breaking in or otherwise. Brown's body was lying face down and barefoot at the bottom of the stairs leading to the door. The walkway leading to the stairs was covered in blood, but the soles of Brown's feet were clean. Based on this evidence, investigators concluded that she was the first person to be killed and the intended target. She had been stabbed multiple times in the head and neck, but there were few defensive wounds on her hands, implying a short struggle to investigators. The final wound inflicted ran deep into her neck, severing her carotid, whatever that says, carotid artery. A large bruise in the center of her upper back, with a corresponding footprint on her clothing, indicted to investigators that after killing Goldman, the assailant returned to Brown's body, stood on her back, pulled her head back by the hair, and slit her throat. Whew. Sorry, just reading this just can make me a little freaked out, a little unsafe. Her larynx, what could be seen through the gaping wound in her neck, and vertebra C3 was incised. Brown's head barely remained attached to her body. Goldman's body lay nearby, close to a tree and the fence. He had been stabbed multiple times in the body and neck, but there were relatively few defense wounds on his hands, signifying a short struggle to investigators. That's another short struggle to investigators. Forensic evidence from the Los Angeles County coroner alleged that the assailant stabbed Goldman with one hand while holding him in a chokehold. Near Goldman's body were a blue knit cap, a left hand, extra large, Eris. I'll just say this light leather glove, and the envelope containing the glasses that he was returning. Detectives determined that Goldman came to Nicole's house during her killing, and that the killer killed him to silence Goldman and remove any witnesses. A trail of the assailant's bloody shoe prints ran through the back gate To the left of some of the prints were drops of blood from the assailant, who was apparently bleeding from the left hand. Measuring the distance between the prints indicated that the assailant walked rather than ran away from the scene. Whew. On the night of June 12th, Simpson was scheduled to board a red-eye flight from Los Angeles International Airport to Chicago, where he was due to play golf the following day at a convention with representatives of Hertz Rental Car Corporation, for whom he was a spokesman. The flight was due to leave at 11:45 p.m. And a limousine arrived early at Simpson's Rockingham estate to pick him up at around 10:25 p.m. The limousine driver drove around the estate to make sure he could navigate the area with the stretch limousine properly, and to see which driver he would have the best access for the limousine. But here we go with the arrest. After learning that Brown was the female victim, LAPD Commander Keith Bushy ordered detectives Tom Lange, Philip Venator, and Ron Phillips, and Mark Fahuram to notify Simpson of her death and to escort him to police station to pick up the former couple's children, who were asleep in Brown's condominium at the time of the murders. The detectives buzzed the intercom at Simpson's estate for over 30 minutes, but received no response. They noted that Simpson's car was parked at an awkward angle, with its back end out more than the front, and that there was blood on the door, which they feared meant someone inside might be hurt. Venator instructed Furman to scale the wall and unlock the gate to allow the other three detectives to enter. The detectives would argue they entered without a search warrant because the exigent circumstances out of fear that someone inside might be injured. Furham briefly interviewed Kalin, who told the detective that the car belonged to Simpson and that earlier that night he had heard thumps on his wall. In the walk around the premises to inspect what may have caused the thumps, Furman discovered a blood-stained right-hand glove, which was determined to be the mate of the left-hand glove found next to the body of Goldman. The evidence was determined to be probable cause to issue an arrest warrant for Simpson. Phillips testified that when he called Simpson in Chicago to tell him of Brown's murder, Simpson sounded very upset, but was oddly unconcerned about the circumstances about her death. Oh, and there it is. So we'll be right back with more of this news, and then we'll get to something else. So don't go anywhere.
Where do you think really chocolatey chocolate milk comes from? A chocolate cow? In a chocolate field? On a chocolate farm? Near a chocolate stream? Wrong. Really chocolatey chocolate milk comes from where you'd expect it to come from. Hershey, the chocolate people.
Chocolate milk people, too.
Carvel ice cream. Carvel ice cream. We make fresh ice cream every day at Carvel. America's freshest ice cream every way at Carvel. Fresh Carvel ice cream.
If you use an automatic toilet bowl cleaner that doesn't clean well enough or last long enough, it's like flushing your good money down the drain. Try my 2000 flushes. It has chlorine bleach, the same chemical used to keep swimming pools clean. It works the same way in your toilet bowl. And it works up to 4 months. It really does. With 2000 flushes, it's not your money that goes down the drain, it's the stains. So why buy anything else?
Something good is coming up. Gonna get the biscuit down. Good morning, biscuit pancakes. Coming up golden brown. Biscuit morning, watch it rise. Something good is coming up when you get the biscuit down.
And Bisquick is made with 100% vegetable shortening and has no preservatives.
Get the biscuit down. Biscuit!
Dick Lewis is watching. Monk and Lewis. Dick Lewis is watching. Monk and Lewis watching the price. Giving great advice. Watching the store to save you so much more. New Monk and Lewis. We always beat the competition. Dick Lewis is watching.
You gotta be kidding. What's in is out, what's out is in. So many trends make my forehead spin. Don't tell me good taste, I know I taste good. While the best thing though is so misunderstood. Just give me what the doctor ordered. Just what the doctor ordered. Just give me a Dr. Pepper, we want it. Whoa, just what the doctor ordered. The taste is made to order, we love it. Whoa, just what the doctor ordered.
One reason why Duracell batteries last so long is because we never stop improving them. In fact, today's Duracell batteries will last up to 20% longer than the ones we made just 3 years ago. And we'll keep on improving them. Because on that score, we have a one-track mind. Duracell, the copper top battery. When it comes to making them last longer, we never stop.
Put in, hunt! Funky chicken! Duck walk! Moonwalk! Disco! Windmill! Air guitar! James Brown! Jimmy plays Monterey!
If it's out there, it's in here. The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
The starting lineups are on the floor, and here comes Michael Jordan. Taking time out for breakfast at his regular place, McDonald's. Jordan finds the open man. He goes for two and takes possession of a delicious big breakfast and a hot Egg McMuffin. Jordan sets. He puts it up, and it's good. Jordan scrambles. He sinks it in again. Can he fit that Egg McMuffin in his game plan? Yes! Michael Jordan has carried it off.
There's still plenty of time on the clock.
Tough getting out of bed to face all the chores ahead, till that aroma comes through when the Folger starts to brew. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Folgers is mountain-grown coffee, and the rich aroma of mountain-grown beans makes Folgers one coffee made with the morning in mind.
Now things are feeling right. You see the morning in a whole new light. There's hard work to be done, another day yet to be won. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Whew. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're all doing fine on this Wednesday, this hump day. Oh, not only that, but also, it is National Book Lovers Day. Books are the purest of escapism. They transport you to any time, place, or culture. So, now you thought that O.J. Simpson 29th anniversary, you thought that was the only anniversary. Oh, there's more. On to now the 30th anniversary of the 1993 Japanese general election. And this has to do with the Liberal Democratic Party of Japan. See, the LDP managed to hold on to power in the 1990 Japanese general election, despite some losses. But in June of 1993, though, 10 members of the party's liberal conservative faction split to form the new party, Sekigake. The end of the post-war miracle economy, Japanese assessed that price bubble and other reasons such as the recruit scandal led to the LDP losing its majority in 1983. The 1993 Japanese general election, held in July of that year. That election was held in Japan on July 18th, 1993, to elect the 511 members of the House of Representatives, which had been in power since 1995, but lost the majority in the House. An eight-party coalition government was formed and headed by Morihiro Hosokawa, the leader of the Japan New Party. The election result was profoundly important to Japan's domestic and foreign affairs. It marked the first time under the 1995 system that the ruling coalition had been defeated, being replaced by a coalition of liberals, centrists, and reformists. The change in government also marked a change in generational politics and political conduct. The election was widely seen as a backlash against corruption, pork barrel spending, and an inflated bureaucracy. That's all I'm just going to go with. Proposed electoral reforms also held much influence over the election. 11 months after the election, the ruling coalition collapsed as multiple parties left the coalition. These were the last general elections to use the single non-transferable vote electoral system, with the 1994 electoral freeform changing the system to parallel voting starting with the next elections. The historic election result coming after years of scandals resulted in the LDP losing the premiership for the first time since 1955. The ultimate cause of the LDP's loss was a defection of key politicians from the party and the consequent formation of two breakaway parties. Oh boy. Sorry. A couple of them were being Prime Minister Kiichi Miyazawa. Yeah, let me rephrase that. Prime Minister Kiichi Miyazawa's dissolution of the lower house, pressure of the political reform, and the three new reformist parties. For this reason, 7 opposition parties, including several formed by LDP dissidents, formed the Hosokawa government headed by Japan new party leader and LDP dissident Morihiro Hosokawa, who became the prime minister preceding by Kiichi Miyazawa. However, the LDP was still far and away the largest party in the House of Representatives. With well over 200 seats, no other individual party crossed the 80-seat mark. Yoi Kono became the president of the LDP, preceded by Kiichi Miyazawa. He was the first non-prime minister LDP leader as the leader of the opposition. In 1984, the Japan Socialist Party and the new party Sekige left the ruling coalition, joining the LDP in the opposition. The remaining members of the coalition tried to stay in power as the minority Hata cabinet under the leadership of Tatsumo Hata, but this failed when the LDP and the Socialists, bitter rivals for 40 years, formed a majority coalition. The Moriyama cabinet was donated by the LDP, but it allowed Socialist Tamishi Murayama to occupy the prime minister's chair until 1996, when the LDP's Ryutaro Hashimoto took over. Going back to the 1993 election, and once again, the 1993 election was precipitated by the decision of 39 LDP members, 34 of them from the Hata Ozawa faction of the LDP, 4 from the faction led by former Foreign Minister Michio Watanabe, and one from the faction led by former State Minister Toshio Komodo, to vote against their own government in favor of a motion of no confidence, which was put forward by opposition in a plenary session on June 18th. This was only the second time since the formation of the LDP that a no confidence motion had actually succeeded. in the previous occurrence in the May 1980 lower house election. 69 LDP rebels were not present for the vote, allowing the motion to pass. This time, all opposition parties voted in favor of the motion, and it carried 255 to 220. 18 LDP members absented from the vote signaled their own passive support for the motion, thus forcing Prime Minister Kishi Miyazawa to dissolve the lower house on the same day and announce a general election for July 18th. At the core of the no confidence vote was the issue of political reform. The notion of restructuring had been extensively discussed in relation to previous normal scandal elections, which were happening on a frequent basis in 1976, 1983, and 1990. After the 1988 shares for grants recruit scandal and the 1990 election. Prime Minister Toshiki Keifu promised a political reform. However, intra-party conflict prevented him from keeping his promise. After the 1992 Sagawa scandal and the revelations concerning Shin Kain-Moru's excessiveness in illegal fundraising, Prime Minister Miyazawa again promised political reform and claimed to put anti-corruption measures at the top of his agenda. This time on national television, but failed to deliver. Shin Kain-Moru, from 1914 to 1996, was an influential figure in the Japanese politics. He was the kingmaker who accessorized his real power behind the scenes and had handpicked at least 4 prime ministers. The inability to enact political reform and promptly dealt with the corruption issue frustrated the public and a portion of reformist LDP politicians. The faction, led by former finance and agriculture minister Tatsuma Sumuhata and political fixer Ichiro Ozawa, decided that political reform was important enough and the prospect of winning the election likely enough to risk defecting from the LDP. Oh boy. Kind of like rising here. The 3 new reformist parties, a total of 46 LDP defectors, formed 2 new parties. The Hata Ozawa faction formed the Renewal Party. JRP Shinsito Masayoshi Takimura, who had been elected governor of Shiga Prefecture with the joint support of the LDP and several opposition parties, and was then serving in the House of Representatives in the LDP. Along with the other 9 young and progressive LDP members, also broke away from the LDP to start our new party harbinger, Shinto Sakigake. Additionally, the Japan New Party, JNP Nihon Shinto, the oldest of the new parties, was formed in May 1982 by Morihiro Hosokawa, formerly an upper house member from the Tanaka faction, and governor 1983 to 1981 of Kumamoto Prefecture. Whew. The LDP had previously lost its majority in the lower house 3 times since 1955. 1976, 1979, and 1983 were just another one of those. But by very slim margins. Additionally, the LDP had lost its majority in the House of Councilors, the upper house of the National Diet, for the first time in the triennial election for half the seats, 36 out of 72. On July 23, 1989, largely due to the 1988 recruital scandal and the introduction of the unpopular conception tax and the liberalization in the importation of foreign agricultural products. And while it later won most of the votes in the 1992 election, for half of the House, it was not enough to recover the majority. On each of those occasions, the LDP was able to co-opt a number of independent conservative members or minor party to form the government. In 1993, however, not enough independent members were willing to join the LDP, and most smaller parties refused to accept coalition with it. Therefore, the formation of a non-LDP coalition became possible for the first time. Now, there were factors in the 1993 election. The so-called 1995 system was characterized by a one-party dominance of the LDP and a number of other political parties in parental opposition. Structural factors conducive to clientelism include fiscal centralization to nation, the pre-1994 electoral system, and electoral malapportionment. Fiscal centralization provided a context for the commodification of votes for material gains. The pre-1994 electoral system, single non-transferable vote in multi-member districts, which is SNTB and the MMD, encouraged the proliferation of Cohen-Kane networks, money politics, and entrenching silentialistic behaviors in elections. Electoral malapportionment was a result of the pre-1994 electoral system and encouraged politicians to appeal to segments of the population through pork barrel politics and protectionist policies. Furthermore, the economic recession arising from the real estate bubble at the end of the 1980s and the LDP's failure to adjust severely tarnished its reputation. And so, yeah, that was the 30th anniversary of the 1993 election. 30 years. But yet, there is another anniversary, and this is a more of a non-number, like the 29th of O.J. Simpson. Uh-oh. My apologies. It's kind of messing with my throat a bit. Here we go. But here it is, the 16th anniversary of the Air Maria Flight 1121 crash. Yikes. Now, the Air Maria Flight 1121 was a de Havilland Canada DHC 6 Twin Otter, which crashed into the ocean shortly after takeoff from Maria Airport on Maria Island in French Polynesia on August 9th, 2007, killing all 20 people on board. Excuse me again. It was bound for Tahiti's Fa'a'a International Airport on a regular 7-minute service, one of the shortest on Earth, scheduled 40 times a day. The crash resulted from loss of control due to failure on the airplane's elevator cable. Frequent takeoff and landing are believed to have been a major factor in the crash because of wear and tear on the elevator cables. Inspected only at fixed time intervals, regardless of usage. Another factor may have been jet blasts from large planes pushing back from the ramp of the FAA's International. The background registration of FOIQI, serial number 608, was a de Havilland Canada DHC 6300 Twin Otter powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney Canada PT6A-27. As of the 8th of August 2007, the airframe had flown 55,054 cycles in approximately 30,834 hours. It was 28 years old at the time of the accident. The aircraft was operated by 4 other operators before being officially sold to Air Maria. On November 2006, November 17, 2006, although the French law did not require every Twin Otter to be fitted with flight recorders, Air Maria had chosen to install I even hate saying this word. Had chosen to install a cockpit. I'll rephrase it again. A cockpit voice recorder, or CBR, on this aircraft. The only pilot flying was 53 years old French Polynesian Michel Santurance. Air Maria flights generally required only a single pilot, and on the day of the crash, Santurance was flying the short hop without any other crew members. He had completed approximately 3,515 hours of flight time on the 8th of August 2007, including 110 hours of Air Maria since joining the airline on May 14th, 2007. 3 months before the crash, he was previously employed by a French regional airline, Finistère, on May 14th, 2007. He began his Twin Otter in the flight training before obtaining his type rating on May 18th. He began working as a newly employed pilot for Air Maria between the 28th and the 30th of May 2007. And, is all right. And as I'm getting word, it's now time for another commercial, but I'll talk a little more about this Air Maria when we come back.
World at Silver City Dodge Toyota. Go ahead, make my coffee.
To satisfy the toughest customers, only the best tasting coffee will do.
Go ahead, make my coffee.
At Dunkin' Donuts, each and every pot is brewed fresh and served fresh at the peak of its flavor. If you're a tough customer, only the taste of this coffee will do. So go ahead, let Dunkin' Donuts make your coffee exquisite.
Indeed.
Hi, Tom Bodette, quote, checking in on my smartphone. Everyone's checking in nowadays, at airports, restaurants, appointments with certain medical specialists. Seriously, people, TMI. Anyway, thanks to the Motel 6 mobile app, you can book a clean, comfortable room at Motel 6 on your smartphone and get a great rate. Then, when you get to Motel 6, you can check in. After you check in, your friends will be totes jealous. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
To help you paint the picture, you know what I'm saying? Burger King got these brand new dinner baskets. I love this place. Not hoops, baskets. You know, if you come in between the hours of 4 to 8, you get like these dinner baskets. You get a chicken dinner basket, shrimp dinner basket, Whopper dinner basket, or steak dinner basket. Who ordered the chicken? Who got the Whopper dinner basket? You get a choice of salad or coleslaw, baked potato or French fries. So you like having it like your way.
Yes, my way.
I love this place. I love it more than you do.
The fun is back, oh yes siree. It's the 2600 from Atari. It's the video system with classics galore, from Space Invaders to cars that roar. A real hip joystick controls the screen. Solaris is hot and Midnight Magic's mean. And one more thing, it's got a special low price, under $50. $50? Now isn't that nice? The fun is back, oh yes siree. It's the 2600 from Atari. Tire Kingdom, tires, 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 tires. If tires are what you need, the lowest price is guaranteed. At Tire Kingdom, the best tires at the best price. No hassle service, and we always treat you nice. Ooh, Tire Kingdom, tires, 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 tires.
No little cinnamon gum freshens breath longer than Big Red.
So kiss a little longer, stay close a little longer, hold tight a little longer, longer with Big Red. That Big Red freshness lasts right through it. Your fresh breath goes on and on. While you chew it, say goodbye a little longer, make it last a little longer. Give your breath long-lasting freshness with Big Red.
Whew. Welcome back everybody. I was getting freezing in this, freezing in where I am right now. So this should help a bit. Well, before the break, we were originally talking about the 16th anniversary of the Air Maria flight of the 1121 crash. And recently we were talking about this guy who began his Twin Otter flight in training on May 14, 2007, before obtaining his type rating on May 18th. As we were saying, he began working as a newly employed pilot for Air Maria between May 30th and May 28th of 2007. In other words, what I meant to say is May 28th and May 30th, 2007. Now, he had spent most of his time being the captain of a flight during his career with Air Maria. As far as the flight and crash goes, the oft-traveled Maria to Tahiti route is one of the shortest in the world. only a 7-minute flight on average, and is flown 40 times a day. That is until August 9th, 2007. FOIQI was the aircraft operating the short route as Flight QE-121. At 12 o'clock local time, that would be 22 o'clock UTC time, the air traffic controller cleared the aircraft for takeoff, and 6 seconds later, the aircraft began its takeoff roll. As its normal procedures for takeoffs, the pilot retracted the aircraft's flaps after climbing to a safe altitude, and shortly after reduced engine power as the aircraft approached its cruising altitude. The reduced thrust and flap retraction caused the aircraft to lose some of the extra takeoff lift, resulting in the nose tilting back downwards slightly, which the pilot attempted to counteract by pulling back on the control column to bring the nose back up. The force from his action caused the aircraft's damaged elevator pitch-up cable to fray and lengthen around 350 feet above sea level, which allowed the elevators to droop downwards and resulting in its nose slowly pitching down towards the sea. At 12:01, the failing cable snapped completely, and the elevator fell into a permanent full nose down deflection, sending the aircraft into a catastrophic dive. The pilot expressed audible surprise, followed by the 6 GPWS warnings sounding together with the engine speed increasing higher than during the takeoff and climb. Also at 12:01, the aircraft crashed into the sea at a decent rate of about 6,500 feet, killing all 20 people on board, 19 passengers, and the pilot, Centurion. An eyewitness reported seeing the plane suddenly nose down at about 30 seconds after the takeoff. The aircraft seemed to attempt to recover from the nosedive, however, it soon crashed into the sea. Now for the recovery. Although some pieces of the aircraft were found floating on the sea surface, the majority of the wreckage was resting on the seabed 600 to 700 meters. That'll be 1,969 feet to 2,297 feet below the sea surface. Woo! Excuse me. The recovery operations commenced on August 26 and ended on the 3rd of September. The aircraft was found to have split into 8 major portions. The tail section of the aircraft, including the cockpit voice recorder, the CVR, was recovered on August 30th. Also on August 30th to September 1st, the tail fin, including the control surfaces and the elevator control systems, the engines, and the cockpit were recovered. As of May 2013, some parts of the aircraft, such as the central part of the fuselage, I guess that's what you could call it, the fuselage, left landing gear, and the wings were found but not recovered. 15 bodies were recovered. However, the bodies of 5 passengers have not been found yet. Now, as the islands are French territory, the accident was investigated by the Bureau of Inquiry and Analysis of Civil Aviation Safety, that is the BEA. Following analysis of the CBR and metallurgical testing of the parts, the BEA concluded the accident was caused by the loss of the airplane pitch control following the failure at a low height of the elevator pitch-up control cable at the time. At the time, the flaps were retracted. According to the accident investigation report, the elevator cable According to the accident investigation report, the elevator cable failure was primarily caused by 2 factors. One, though more resistant to corrosion in the saline environment than the original carbon steel cables. The stainless steel cables that were present on this particular aircraft suffered greater wear from abrasion by the cable guides. There were no modifications made to the maintenance schedule to account for this added wear, nor the higher than usual number of cycles experienced by the aircraft on the high frequency short flight it operated. And 2, another possible factor contributing to the failure of the elevator cable was when the Twin Otter was parked at the FAA airport was possibly subject to a jet blast from an Airbus A340. When the A340 was pushed back, it was brought close to where the Twin Tower was parked. As the A340 turned toward the runway, the jet blast from the A340's engine caused the Twin Otter's elevators to flutter, causing stress on the cable. This would have been exaggerated by the procedure of locking the elevator in the pitch down position when parked, capturing more of the blast than it would in a neutral position. Now, the Discovery Channel Canada National Geographic TV series Mayday depicted the accident in a season 13 episode, Terror in Paradise, first aired on January 27, 2014. The episode featured interviews with witnesses and accident investigators and a dramatization of the accident. Whew. So yeah, so many anniversaries. 16th, 29th, and the 30th. And now, I hope we don't mind. Maybe he won't mind the guy running it at all. We go to the news of the weird. Oh yeah. Hopefully I have this somewhere. Oh. Starting with, how was your summer vacation? I bet it was better than this couple's. Alan Stevens and Stevens 50 of Hull, England, booked in a surprise 17-day trip for his wife's birthday to the Dominican Republic for late June. When they arrived, however, it was clear the resort's 5-star rating was a mistake. Hull Live reported that while at the resort, Stevens, as his wife observed a variety of alarming behaviors. When we went out to the pool for the first time, we saw guests smoking weed in the pool, people having sex in the pool. One woman being sick all over herself in the pool, and another guest actually defecate in the pool. It was disgusting, Stevens said. We were approached by people offering us drugs about 10 times in the 17 days we were there. A woman fell from a balcony where we were there, and we walked past and saw her body hidden under a sheet. We had no idea what was going on. He continued, we were out one day. I saw a man knocked clean off his motorbike. I just burst out crying because on top of everything else that had happened, it was such a shock. Travel company Stevens worked with offered £200 in vouchers and counseling credits, which Stevens called a joke. This was 100% the worst holiday we've ever been on. All live on August 3rd, 2023. Big sorry to Alan Stevens there for that. Then we have the aristocrats. Mary Lynn's Kimberly Kimmy-Cola. Kimmy-Cola and Coca-Cola. Okay, really. Mary Lynn's Kimberly Kimmy-Cola Winter has erupted her way into history with a Guinness World Record. Oh, nice job, Kimberly. United Press International reported on August 2, Winter broke the previous record for loudest burp with a 107.3 decibel growler. That's louder than a blender, an electric handheld drill, and even some motorcycles. She prepared for the event with breakfast, coffee, and beer. I'll phrase that. She prepared the event for breakfast, coffee, and beer. Winter said to achieve the big tech belch, she takes a deep breath and tries to manipulate that into something monstrous and magical. She admitted she loves to shock strangers with her burps. I love to be loud and proud, as she claims. Suspicions confirmed the Hangzhou Zoo in eastern China has gotten a big bump in visitor numbers this week. 30% more to a 20 a day since Angela the Malayan sun bear went viral. Reuters reported that Angela captured social media attention when she stood up on her hind legs and stretched her neck to look at visitors. In fact, her behavior was so human-like that people thought maybe the zoo had dressed a worker up in a bear suit. After we saw the video on the internet, that we specially took the high-speed train from Zasuhu to come over to see the bear. Quang Ming said, "If this is fake, it deserves an Oscar for special effects," said no one commenter. But no, Angela is definitely not human. Our zoo is government run, so that the kind of situation would not happen, the zoo responded. Unconventional weapon. Jennifer Calandria, of 42, of St. Petersburg, Florida, was charged with the domestic battery after an incident on July 31st. The Smoking Gun reported, as her ex-husband, Brian Drobman, of 42, slept in the home they share. Calandria allegedly violently ripped his CPAP machine off his face, causing a cut on his lower hip, and started arguing with him. The two divorced in 2009 but have been sharing a home. Calandria was released on her own recognizance in order to stay away from Drobman. That was the Smoking Gun of August 2, 2023. On July 28th, 2023, Molehole meets Mountain, Cedar Point Shores Water Park, and in Sandusky, Ohio, was the scene of what might have been a routine dust-up between patrons on July 27th. But as the Smoking Gun reported, it developed into much, much more. Cops responded after a woman allegedly called a child a brat, a fat A, I'm just going to go that, a fat A, and pushed him off a floating toy. She identified herself as Jennifer Lee Miller at 67 and said she was a Christian woman, a grandmother, and she wouldn't do such a thing. Police said after officers gave her a warning and left the scene, they determined that the woman had given them a false name. She is really Janet Nail of Taylor, Michigan. And she was arrested for obstruction. She lied about all her information and had no reason for doing so. That's what one officer said. Then next came, wait, what? Bob Blankenship of Ormond Beach, Florida, wants some answers after a May incident where he discovered airplane parts, including a windshield, in his yard. Woo. Sorry. Blankenship lives near the Ormond Beach Airport and is used to the noise, but pieces of fiberglass and metal falling from the sky concern him. It could fall on anybody out there, he said. Just think of it. Think if it fell from 30 feet. What's the impact going to be? Probably cut you in two. Blankenship determined which plane had been flying over and conducted the airport, leaving his contact information. Later, he got a message from the pilot. "Hey, this is Douglas. And I'm over in D-Land. And I lost a piece of my airplane yesterday. I'm wondering if I can connect with you and come and get it." No, said Blankenship. He reported the incident to the FAA, which claimed that the following aircraft part situation is being taken seriously by our organization, but he's unsatisfied with their slow response. "The next time, it could be somebody's life," he said. Whew. Sorry. All right, here's another one that's called Rude. The other one was July 27th, 2023. This one's July 28th, 2023. British Columbia real estate agent Mike Rose is out on his ear in Kamloops after he was caught on video swigging milk straight from the bottle at a home he was showing. Canoe reported on July 28th that Rose was waiting for his clients to arrive for a showing. After slacking in his thirst, he returned the milk jug to the refrigerator. Rose apologized, saying his behavior was out of character and he was unusually dehydrated. But his clients replaced him, and he was ordered to pay a $22,500 fine. Ooh. And it looks like I am at the very last of this. Whew, with only just a couple of hours left. I mean, it's just a couple more minutes left. Make that a few. During a friendly soccer match on July 21st between Gateshead and Dunstan, in England, players and spectators were astonished as men wearing balaclavas drove a hearse onto the pitch. In the Independent reported just before 8:20 p.m., the funeral car and the Subaru made their way onto the field, where they spun around in circles as their occupants threw there we go. Where they spun around in circles and as their occupants threw leaflets from the cars. The drivers of the hearse left that the vehicle on the pitch and hoped in the other car, which drove away. Officials were forced to call off the match. Northumbria police said 4 men had been arrested and remained in police custody. Disorder will not be tolerated in the community, police said. Inquiries continue. The Seattle Mariners are down a player. Oh, wait a minute. That was the end of that. Okay, yeah, that was on July 23, 2023. Okay. And now, yep, there it is. Commercial time. We'll be right back.
At the river mouth, the bears catch only the tastiest, most tender salmon. Which is exactly what we at John West want. John West endured the worst to bring you the best.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Ship my pants? Right here? Ship my pants, you're kidding. You can ship your pants right here. You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed. If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests, obeying contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Mr. Cow.
Yes?
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I don't know. I always end up biting. Ask Mr. Fox, for he's much cleverer than I.
Mr. Fox, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Why don't you ask Mr. Turtle, for he's been around a lot longer than I. Me, I bite.
Mr. Turtle, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl, for he is the wisest of us all.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
A good question. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
If there's anything I can't stand, it's a smart owl.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Please, dig him out.
Mr. Green? Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
Yeah, sure.
Want my Coke? It's okay, you can have it.
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay.
A Coke and a smile makes me feel good. Makes me feel nice. Be around. That's the way it should be. I like to see
Hey, kid.
the whole world is smiling with me. Coca-Cola as life. Have a Coke and
Thanks, Mean Joe.
smile.
Ow!
So you think Santa will like these red and green M&Ms?
I don't know. I never met the guy. He does exist!
They do exist. Santa?
I feel like maybe that last one you probably should be showing like during the holidays, but oh well. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Well, we continue on from the news of the weird. This was taken on. Oh, hey, come back here, will ya? Oh, that's better. Okay. This year, it was said on July 20th, 2023, the Seattle Mariners are down a player after outfielder Jared Kelenic took an unlikely opponent in the locker room. A water cooler, CBS News reported, that Kelenic kicked a cooler after striking out against the Minnesota Twins on July 19th and suffered a broken foot as a result. This isn't the first time that's happened to a water cooler. Manager Scott Servais said Kelenic feels terrible. He knows he let a lot of people. He says he knows he let a lot of people down. While his recovery may be long, he will not require surgery, just therapy for his fractured ego. Yep, that was the end of that. All right. Let's continue on. July 22, 2023, zookeepers at the Columbus Zoo in Ohio were taken aback on July 20th when Sully, an 8-year-old Western lowland gorilla, whom they had assumed to be male, gave birth. Sully has lived at the zoo since 2019. United Press International reported, it's hard to tell the sex of younger gorillas. The zoo said in a statement, they don't have prominent sex organs. They said Sully had been healthy and did not need any procedures or medical care that would have clued them into her gender. Sully is taking good care of the baby. Zookeepers said, adding that eventually they'll do a DNA test to find out which of three males is the father. That was on the 22 of July. On the 23 of July, however, saw that coming. Or not. At 11:55 p.m. on July 22, a speeding boat with 8 people aboard left the water at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri and crashed into a home along the bank. KMIZ TV reported that Adam Ramirez, at 47, was driving the boat when the accident happened after the boat hit the home. It overturned and ejected all 8 passengers, who were taken to a hospital, 6 of them in a serious condition. 2 people in the home at the time were uninjured. Ramirez was charged with boating while intoxicated. Travis Coleman with Towboat U.S. Lake of the Ozarks said crashes on the lake are common, and alcohol and darkness can play a large role. And he's right again. Sorry, I was just certain. Okay. That's better. Now, we go to Nature Gone Wild. Nature Gone Wild. Excuse me. Sorry about that. A bird rarely seen in the northern hemisphere dropped into Pebble Beach, California on July 21st. KSBW-TV reported. The Nazca booby the Nazca booby, which at the time of year is usually living and breeding in a Galapagos Islands, was delivered to the SPCA on Monterey County. Officials there said it was emaciated, cold, and injured. Beth Brookhauser said the bird had to be kept in a incubator and fed through a tube while it recovered. Whoops, excuse me. It had wounds on its back that appeared to be from fishing hooks. Once the bird was healed, the SPCA hopes to reintroduce it to the wild. And we go to the bright idea. Hong Kong's health minister, Professor Lo Chong Mao, is urging public shaming as a remedy to unlawful tobacco use. Cigarettes can harm the health of all of us, Lo told a meeting of Legislative Council's Health Service on the panel of July 14th. When members of the public see people smoking in non-smoking areas, we can stare at the smokers. Everyone on the premises can stare at that person. He believes his behavior would help create a non-smoking culture in the city. He also said authorities would use surveillance footage to crack down on smokers flouting the rules. The Passing Parade. Barbie Mania has taken the world by storm, obviously, including in Brazil, where Burger King is selling a sandwich with a bright pink sauce that looks like chewed bubblegum and has a smoky flavor, according to Burger King. CNBC reported on July 13th that the BK Barbie combo comes with a cheeseburger, a pink vanilla flavored milkshake, makes sense, a donut sprinkled with pink frosting, and an order of Ken's potatoes. Also, that's the fries. The combo is not expected to be offered in the United States. That was on July 13, 2023. Here's something here. Trader Joe's announced on July 21st that it is recalling 2 types of cookies that may have rocks in them. National Public Radio reported the almond windmill cookies and dark chocolate chunk and almond cookies have been removed from the grocery chain stores and destroyed. The company said, but those who had previously bought them can return them for a refund. Please do not eat them. They urged customers. The company didn't specify how the rocks came to be in the cookies. The golden age of air travel. Uh-oh. Oh, no, come back. Oh, come on. I lost it. You gotta be kidding me. The thing with the old iPads, as you know. There it is, finally. All right, here we go. I had a little bit of a technical issue with my iPad. Yeah, the golden age of air travel. In late July, a woman on a Spirit Airlines plane hit her limit. The New York Post reported the plane is stopped. I cannot hold the P. She shouted in a video as she pulled down her pants and squatted in a corner to relieve herself. I need to urinate. 2 hours. You closed the bathroom doors, she said, telling a crew member she should blame yourself. The video was posted on July 20th, but it is unclear where the incident took place. As Charlie Brown would say it, good grief. You might not have it on your calendar, but August 5th is a National Mustard Day. National Mustard Day. Rather than celebrating with a hot dog or a burger smothered in yellow condiment, the French companies want you to try mustard Skittles. Oh. NBC New York reported on July 25th, Skittles is always looking to inspire moments of everyday happiness and deliver unexpected ways for fans to experience the brand, said Roach Shang, marketing director at Mars. The new flavor combines their tangy mustard flavor with our iconic chewy texture to deliver the And I lost it again. Must we do this every single time? Oh God, how do I get back? This stinks. Well, being that we're at the last 10 minutes, and apparently this is downed me for the third time. Perhaps maybe this this might help. I can try to find it right here. Aha, okay. Might have found it again. Skittles is always looking. All right. The new flavor combines our tangy mustard flavor with our iconic chewy texture to deliver this unique summer treat. Adventurous mustard lovers can try to win a bag of candy through an online sweepstakes. Okay, that's not too bad. Then again, however, you got to remember it's a mustard Skittles. And I guess we'll go from here. Oops, we'll go from here to my thoughts on one certain thing. At least two certain things. Because as far as video games goes, 2 classic Pokemon games are coming to the Switch today. And I mean today, which was yesterday. So they came yesterday. A pair of Pokemon games are coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Announced during a Pokemon Presents live stream on Tuesday, Game Boy's Pokemon trading card game and N64's Pokemon Stadium 2 will be available today via Nintendo Switch Online and its premium expansion pack offering. First released in 1998, Pokemon Trading Card Game is a Game Boy adaptation of the tabletop card game, and its name suggests the game includes 3 sets of trading card game, in addition to exclusive cards. Pokemon Stadium 2 was released for Nintendo 64 in 2000 and features all 251 monsters from the first and second generations of the franchise. No, sorry. The original game allowed players to transfer Pokemon from their Game Boy games using the transfer pack accessory. But this functionally is not available in the Switch version. NES, SNES, Game Boy, and Game Boy controller games are available as part of the standard Switch Online subscription, which costs $19.99 in the US, $17.99 9 cents a pound, and whatever the sign says, $19.99 for a 12-month individual membership. However, to play Game Boy Advance games as well as Mega Drive, Genesis, and Nintendo 64 games, players need to have the Switch Online Plus expansion pack subscription, which costs $49, $9, 34 pounds, and 39 whatever kind of dollar sign that is. Now this is actually not too bad. Have I played the Pokemon on Stadium 2? Not really, but I have played the original. My God, it's been a long time since I've done the original, and I still have no idea how it works. Anyone who's into Pokemon might need to help me out with that one because I know nothing. Maybe I'll get maybe on one of my streams on my channel, I might retry it. Who knows? We'll see. But you know what? Perhaps David won't mind. I'll go back to one. I'll probably end this with one more news of weird here. On July 22, a Traquet in Switzerland, 100 Alphorn players gathered for the 22nd International Alphorn Festival. Yahoo News reported. You know Alphorn's Think Ricola commercials. The competitors are judged on interpretation, musicality, accuracy, and rhythm, said the festival founder Antoine Devanes. It's easy to play, but difficult to play it well, said Marshall Hengelos at 85, one of the participants. He was joined by players from France, Germany, America, and Canada. The youngest competitor was 11 years old. Adolphe Zobrist, at 58, from Brienz, Switzerland, took the title for the 4th time. It's my hobby, and it's my passion. And I've been playing since I was 12, Zorbis said. It's the sound of mountains. And maybe. All right, okay. Maybe kind of one more. Special delivery. Cindy Smith of Prince William County, Virginia, definitely did not order hundreds of headlamps, glue guns, and children's binoculars. WUS. Oh, I guess I'm too late.
No, you can finish it.
Oh, okay, sweet. WUSA TV reported, but still they showed up at her home in more than 100 Amazon boxes. A lot of people thought I was weird, Smith said. I would drive around with headlamps and glue guns in the car. I gave them to everybody I met. WUSA looked into the situation for Smith and learned that sellers from China that need to get their merchandise out of Amazon's warehouses are just picking random addresses, according to an attorney who represents companies to sell on Amazon. They're just having them sent there because it's just cheaper for them to do so. Amazon said it has closed its account with this particular seller.
All right, so what did you think of your first show here, Emo?
That was pretty good. Next time I gotta do it on a better iPad.
Yeah, make sure my advice is make sure more organized and maybe practice reading the words like the day before or something. I know it was last minute, but just give me more practicing of reading it. But other than that, you did good today. So good job on your first show.
Thank you very much.
Anything you want to promote while we have a minute left?
So it's like that. So it's like this. I do have a YouTube channel, Emo Inuyasha. That's really just the simple. You'll find it at. Oh, not this one. That's that profile pic is something else. But you will find me on YouTube. You'll find me on DeviantArt. There, I do have a Twitch. Yes.
Right.
But yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. See you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to the Demon Network for great more content like this one.